Mhm. Morning. Hello. Good morning. Hello. Oh, wow, that was quick. You look good. Oh,
Oh,
yes. Hi, hang on. I got to switch all my stuff over here.
I gave Melany the link.
And it's,
Yeah.
no, I sent them all. I sent all of them. The link is in the Eventbrite. The link is in all the newsletters. I sent it through Facebook. Oh my gosh. That's why I said it. I said, everybody got the, yeah, got it. I was like, oh, okay, so I got to invite Marie too. She didn't. Okay.
She didn't get it either?
Oh, she's saying that. Okay, so where's the copy?
Hear me okay?
Yeah, you need, hang on. Okay, so let's go here. Oh, where is it here? Come on, go. Oh, hang on. Admit. Okay.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I love your hair.
Thank you. Takes 5 minutes.
I know we were just talking and her hair was straight. And I went, wow, you look great. That's magic.
Yeah.
I need that magic
How do you
over
do
on this
it?
side here.
I'm a representative with Secret Direct, which is a direct sales company, and they have this kick-ass flat iron that does curls also, and it's super hot, so it goes to extreme hot temperatures. It's more or less a quality of a hairstylist, that a hairdresser. And yeah, so I mean, my hair was straight as a bone when like we were testing things, and I said, okay, see you in a few minutes. I got to go curl my hair and put my makeup on. Literally 5 minutes.
Wow, that's impressive. That is goals right there, beauty goals.
Yeah.
I know. It's like I was just saying. I said I need to do something with my hair and curl it because it's so fine and baby thin, whatever. And it's too. I mean, I've not had it this long for years. I'm like, got to do something
Yeah,
with
I
it.
was gonna say it's a lot longer than I've seen it on you in a long time.
Yeah. This is what happens when you're stuck inside and you can't get anybody out to cut it.
I think it looks good on you. Are you wanting to chop it off again?
Well, I'm actually getting used to it, so I think I just might keep it. I just might have to get it styled a little bit so that
it's
My
funny.
husband won't let me cut his hair. Initially,
cut your hair?
Well, he won't let me cut his hair.
Oh, his hair.
Yes, initially he was like, I'm going to need you to cut my hair. And I was like, yeah. And then we get our dogs groomed every 8 weeks. And because of COVID, we couldn't. So one day we bathed the dogs. And, dogs, they move so quickly, right? So I was just taking the scissors and, okay, quickly and cutting. And he looked at me and he was like, you are not cutting my hair. So I've been trying. That's not how I would cut your hair. You would sit still. But he's not convinced.
He's terrified now.
He is terrified. He was so like, yeah, you can cut my hair, no problem. And then he saw me cut the dog's hair, and he was like, not happening.
That's funny. I've been my husband shaves his hair, so I usually do it for him. But lately, in the past year, he decided to go to the barber, and he loves it. So he goes and gets his hair cut and his beard, and everything's, and his eyebrows and his ears, the whole caboodle, Yeah. Anyway, so for my daughter's wedding, which was March 14th, like,
how was that?
Yeah, it was awesome. I married her because I'm an officiant as well.
Awesome.
So, yeah, it was really awesome, and we're very grateful because on Thursday we did the rehearsal, and of course, people were buying crazy amounts of toilet paper. Everybody was laughing about all that stuff, and then Friday we were totally off the grid because we were focused on the wedding.
Yeah.
And so of course Saturday came and we had a wonderful celebration. We had 80 people. It was perfect.
Wow.
The next day, 2 of the guests were leaving for the Dominican, and they actually did. They got on the plane and
Oh, did they?
yeah, on the Sunday, and like, we're going, are you sure you want to be doing that? Anyways, and that's when, right after that, on the Monday, they started talking about isolation. And then by Friday, they were calling everybody to come home. And anyways, so we laughed because people were like, we had no idea how crazy things were until the Monday when, you know, we got online and people are talking about this toilet paper thing and, you know, hoarding and the grocery stores. And we had no idea, like we weren't in the loop at all. Anyways,
Yeah.
and then of course, right after that, the following weekend, they canceled all weddings. Like nobody else could get married.
I have 2 friends, 2 weddings that I was supposed to go to in a couple months, and they're canceled.
Yep. Liz's niece, Eva, who works with her, I was going to marry her, and they can't even issue marriage licenses, so we can't.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, we
That's
can't.
awful. Like, honestly, I know there are way worse things in the world than moving your wedding, but like, I remember how incredibly, incredibly exciting, and like, you just can't wait, and you put all this effort into planning and all this stuff. And then to just be like, oh, I don't know if you paid deposits, but you know, you're not getting married. And who knows when you're going to get married.
Well, that's it. And that's what Eva was saying. She said, you know, do you think you could come and just marry the 2 of us with witnesses? And then we can do a big party celebration and you can do it over again.
Yeah.
Whenever the isolation is lifted. I said, yeah, sure, we could do that. But when I called the office, they said you can't because they're not even issuing marriage licenses. So
That sucks.
it does. It's sad, you know, for the people that have put all the time and energy into planning. But anyways, it is what it is.
My roots are starting though. They're there.
Yeah.
Well,
Hi,
I'm
Marie.
really glad I went natural a year ago because I don't have to worry about that. Thank God.
Totally. Well, you know what? The last time I went in, because usually in this, like, I'm addicted to my light blonde hair. I just love it. I've gone dark a couple times in the past because I am actually brown, and I don't like it. It's not as good, and people say you're more of a blonde. But anyway, in the winter, I like to go a little bit like sort of a rose gold color just to make it a little darker. And when I went to the hair salon last time, she said, okay, so are we going to go rose gold? And I said, no, one more time. I want to go really light blonde. And now I'm like, darn it, I wish that I had gone a little bit darker because it wouldn't quite show as much. But what are you going to do?
Yeah, as big a difference.
Yeah, exactly. But hey,
Well,
I don't know. I guess a little root is kind of in. I will be soon if it's not yet.
Yeah. When I was planning for the wedding, I would have normally had my hair cut like that week.
Yeah.
And I decided because she was doing an updo that I would leave it so that I could have it styled, you know, she'd have more to work with. Well, now it's, you know, a month, I'm like now a month after my normal haircut. So my curls are awesome, but they're really poofy because my hair is much longer than it normally is, you know?
But I'm loving the longer hair on you too.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think you should continue to grow. Hello, Marie. Nice that you're joining us and early.
Yeah.
That's great.
Thanks.
How you doing?
Good. And you?
I am doing good.
Good. Am I early? I thought I was late.
Well, no. Well, it actually starts at 7, but we get everybody to come in a little bit early so we get all chit-chatted and settled in so at 7 o'clock we can get right in.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know how we know how to chat. Sorry.
Yeah, we can do all our catch up ahead of time, you know?
It's a good call, yeah.
Yeah. They actually are saying, I'm reading that it takes about 8 minutes to feel settled with the energy on the Zoom. So it's a really good thing to prelude the call to actually have this kind of connection.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
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 Well, I find
Yeah.
that quite often. I mean, I've been doing Zoom calls for over a year now, so
Me
I
too,
totally
yeah.
get that because everybody wants to say hello, and then once they all get into the right space, we're all good to go.
It's good to know though, because I find with Zoom, I tend to jump into things a lot quicker. I don't know why. For me, I think because we're not in person, it's like lacking something. And
Mhm.
so I don't know, it feels more like, Kate, you're clicking the button to start the meeting. So let's start the meeting. I don't know. I know that's odd. So it's good to know that it takes 8 minutes. I should kind of keep that in mind to try and connect, I guess, for the first few minutes, because I think that's important.
Oh yeah, that's huge. Yeah.
I've been doing that on my NIA videos, right? On the Zoom NIA classes, I go in 5 minutes early and I invite people to come in 5 minutes early, and I start talking and just setting the intention and all that kind of stuff. And anyways, it's so it's kind of cool that you mentioned that, because I had no idea that that was a good thing. So I'm glad I'm on the right track.
You are. So Marie, while we have a couple of minutes, what do you do? What's your business?
That's a very good question. And that's why I'm exactly here in this networking. Is that a good answer?
Yes.
Yeah, actually I'm pivoting my business now at this point to actually go online. I can see that as a possibility. So what is my business? I'm a code model coach. I do Indian head massage. I'm a healing touch, practitioner. So what I've done lately is I've done distant healing. And, I loved the loft because I loved clients coming to my little loft, and I was a little cocoon. And now to turn that around and I still use my loft, but I can be out in the world. Yeah.
That's great.
So it is a pivoting. It is a pivoting. And
I
so
didn't realize that you could do that virtually. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. The only problem I'm finding is it's how do you say it? If people really will accept the energy or not.
Mm.
It's
I can tell you it really works when you're open to it.
Well,
Yeah.
that's yeah. Thank you.
Have you done it virtually, Liz?
I have with a couple of people, but the last session I had with Marie, I was telling her, I said when I was sitting there and all of a sudden my right leg kicked out to the side, and my first thought was I'm kicking something to the curb, because it just automatically did it. I have no idea what it was for, but I said whatever
That's
was
so
there, I was
cool.
kicking something to the curb. But yeah, it was it's pretty powerful. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing that, Marie.
Thank you.
Hello. Is it Elida?
Alida.
Alida, you're muted, but I could read your lips very well.
Oh.
Nice to see you. I can't hear you, just so you know. You need to unmute yourself.
There, I just unmuted you.
There we go. Perfect.
Thank you.
How you doing?
There, everybody's unmuted. Okay.
Hi, Linda. Oh, she might not be at her computer.
Alita, we missed our call this morning. Sorry about that.
I know. I thought at one point, but
Here we are.
Exactly.
I was just kind of taking the opportunity to get to know everybody. What is your business? What do you do?
Easy way to say it is I tell government how to run IT.
Oh,
Oh.
I like it. Boss lady, telling the government what to do. My kind of woman.
Exactly.
Awesome. Hi, Linda. How you doing? Oh, I still can't hear you.
Okay, you're unmuted, but I don't know what's going on with your sound here.
Just a second.
Oh,
there,
we
how's
go.
that?
There we go. That's
Yeah.
better. The on button works.
Okay, so we got one more gal coming, as far as
Oh,
I
I
know.
don't hear you again. You're muted.
Oh, there.
There you go.
All right.
Somehow
See,
I
this
got
is why
muted
we're
again.
doing this, right?
Yeah, I got muted again. So I'm doing well. It's nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too. I'm glad that we're all here today. I'm excited for this. I haven't been a part of a graduate meeting yet. I haven't been able to make it, so I'm excited.
That's Sandy. Hey, Sandy.
Sandy's on now?
Yeah, Sandy's visually impaired.
Okay.
So she's on the phone with me.
Oh, hi, Sandy.
Hi.
Yeah, so just for transparency, we record these meetings so that we can process them and send them over to Sandy so that she can listen to them better and whatnot when because it's
Perfect.
we're still a little technically challenged with Sandy. We're trying to get her somehow onto Zoom, but we've not gotten there yet, but we're in progress.
Sounds good.
Have you guys started yet?
Nope, we're starting at 7.
Okay, phew. Because I'm going to take you out to the backyard.
Well, I'm going out to the backyard.
Oh, nice.
Okay, going out to the backyard. You're going to hear the word dizzy, dizzy, dizzy. I'm a little bit behind somehow. I don't know how it happened.
No worries. Hey, why don't you tell Melany while you're here what you do?
Who's Melany?
Melany is our guest speaker today.
Oh,
Hello.
so Melanie, I'm a canine therapist. And I have a lot of medallions behind me. And I'm now working on horses.
Nice. Was that physiotherapist?
She does healing, energy healing for animals, and she does training as well with dogs, but she's been doing lots recently with horses.
Oh, that's awesome. Very cool. I haven't heard of an energy healer for animals, but that totally makes sense, of course. Why wouldn't you be able to? Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's fun.
Yeah. Marie, do you work on animals as well or just humans?
No, but I really realize animals are a reflection of what's going on in the home.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Speakerphone, so it might sound funny if you hear me.
No problem.
Okay, and we have.
I'm wondering if she can call in so that we can hear her better because I only caught a very small.
Yeah, she could call in, but I think it's a U.S. number, isn't
It's
it?
long distance. Yeah, she doesn't have.
Somebody told me there was a Canadian one. I'm going to get it at some point because I think it's crazy that they only list the U.S. one. But I have friends who said, no, there's a Canadian one. I remember looking it up though, and I couldn't find it. So I'll ask her, and then I can share it with you all.
Oh, that'd be good. Because they should put it in the package. Hi, Christine.
They should. I mean, why wouldn't they? But anyway, hi, Christine.
I just get killing the head.
Christine, hello. Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Is your sound on?
It is.
No, I'm talking.
Amazing.
Sorry, Sam.
Okay, so I've got everybody unmuted, well, except Linda's muted herself again.
Yeah, it'd be good for us to be unmuted so that in the presentation it can be kind of round table discussion a little bit.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
Kristen, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can. Sort of.
Christine, Sandy.
Christine, can you unmute yourself? I'd really like to know what it is that you do.
Christine does magic. That's what she does.
Really? What kind of magic? I like magic.
With her hands.
She does
Yeah.
scientific hand analysis.
Oh, really?
Cool.
Yeah, she's done mine since 2013, I think, was the first one she started for me.
Wow.
What'd she tell you about your hands, Liz?
My life lesson is money.
Money,
Go figure,
honey.
right?
Oh,
Right?
And until I learn my lesson, it's going to keep on showing up. I'm getting better. But it's yeah, it's
How fitting for this call.
I know it's I love it.
Yeah,
It's,
Christine's pretty amazing. She's her hand analysis is pretty detailed and very interesting.
That's so great.
yeah, and it's
Are you
great.
able to do that virtually, Christine? Like if I went like that, can you do this virtually?
I can do some of it virtually. Some of it's based on fingerprints, so that's a little more detailed.
Yeah.
But yeah, main lines and stuff.
I wonder if you could have, just so you could work virtually, have them do their own fingerprints, send that over to you. That would be cool, right?
Mm.
Yeah, it's great because she did my granddaughter, and what was great getting hers done, we know how to work with her and how to guide her along. So it's pretty cool.
It's
Pretty
cool.
cool. Yeah.
Exactly the
Anyone
system,
does that.
Melanie. She sends you a kit, you ink your hand, you ink the paper, you send it back to her.
Got it. Yes. Who else registered?
Okay, I think we're good to go. I'm just checking. Okay, Penny Lee, I don't see the agenda here. I have January's agenda in here.
In the Google Drive.
Yeah. It says January 16th.
What?
Yeah.
I have April 2020. It's under the Graduate Thrivers agenda. Like if you go to Graduate Thrivers.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. I've been putting them under
the agenda.
I see now. Okay.
You are trying to get me to be super organized.
I was. We're working on it. We're working on it.
And I actually got the agenda uploaded into the Google Drive.
I mean, that's something.
Yes,
that was.
there.
We're making progress. We're making progress.
Hey, I have a question for you ladies. Can you all look at the camera and smile? I'm going to take a screenshot and do a social media post.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, and then hold it for a minute, okay?
Okay.
A minute's a long time.
There we go. We're good.
Fabulous.
We have the shot. I think it's a good one.
I was probably
Nice.
talking. What kind of camera do you have on that
I'll
computer?
share this with you. You can tell me what you guys think.
Well, when you click on gallery view, you can see everybody.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, that's a
pretty
nice
good.
one. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay, this is going. Love it. Okay. We have progress. This is good. We're 2 minutes to go. Enough time for me to print this.
Yeah.
I've got everything else but the agenda in front of me.
So Linda, I don't know if you've been watching my videos or if any of you have seen, but my daughter who just got married and her new husband moved in with me on Saturday by surprise.
How do you feel about that?
I did not know that. How come?
Well, her in-laws, they've been living with their her husband's family in a loft above their garage for 5 years. So it's been a long time they've been there. And I don't know if it's the isolation or what's going on with the mother-in-law, but she got really upset last week and told them to get out. She didn't want to see them anymore.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so Alicia called me crying Saturday morning at 11, Mom or Dad. She was talking to Dad, and yep. So Dad says, yep, no problem. You can come live here. And so I had to spend all Saturday emptying my basement so that I had a place for her to move into. So it's been very good because she's super organized. And so she's helping me reorganize my whole house, of course, but she's getting set up herself and she's got some great ideas and she loves cooking. So I get dinner every night cooked by her.
And see how you're reaping these benefits already.
It's great when the kids come home and they cook.
Yep. So it's been really good. Alrighty. We ready to rock?
We're ready to rock and roll. Love this. Yeah.
Okay, so welcome everybody. Sandy, you there? Okay. So welcome everybody. Well, Melany did a great job of asking everybody to introduce themselves. So,
sorry.
But, that's okay. What I'd like you to do is type into the chat your contact information so we can share it with everybody and we can connect with each other. So if you can do that, that would be awesome. And I don't know if you're aware, but you can actually save the chat so that you can have it to refer to yourself later. So there's a box at the bottom where the chat is, and it says save. So if you go on your chat, there's a box at the bottom with 3 little dots, and if you click on that, it says save chat.
Perfect. You learn something new every day.
Yeah. So you want to do that at the you want to do that at the end of the meeting.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to start off with our positive reflection box. And so these are boxes that we have logoed with Thriving Forward Ottawa. And we've used these at the Thriving Forward events, which is under the umbrella of Graduate, to help raise money for not-for-profits. And so today we're supporting PARO, which is a not-for-profit for women in business. And so we're going to set the intention for this evening. I've been doing this every morning. When my husband was relieved from work, I found it very difficult having both my daughter, who's 16, and my husband home. So I needed to set a schedule for myself. So I made a promise to myself I would go out every morning, 9 o'clock, go outside, step on the ground barefoot to ground myself, and pull a block from here. So I've been doing that for over a week. Now I've got another new normal to create for myself with my daughter and her husband here. Okay, so I have number 96. And number 96, there's 108 positive quotes in here. And so number 96. Okay, so not everyone will understand your journey, and that's okay. You're here to live your life, not make everyone else understand. So that's our quote for today, number 96. Not everyone will understand your journey, and that's okay. You're here to live your life, not make everyone else understand.
I like it.
Oh. All right, so that's our intention for tonight. And then I wanted to read our manifesto because our graduate manifesto is something that we created many, many years ago. And when we first created it, this was what we wanted our members to feel that they were accomplishing. Although Liz and I can both tell you when we first started reading it, it didn't really feel like us. But after you read it over and over again, then it becomes who you are. You start acting like it. So I cannot give what I do not have. Therefore, I'm committed to self-leadership. The Graduate Thrivers meetings are a priority to reflect, reframe, and plan my life, ensuring I'm living the abundant life I choose, and I am proud of who I am. My life is an exciting, ongoing journey as I evolve and realize my significance and potential. I respect and value the diversity and positivity of the Graduate Thrivers as it influences me to open my mind and expands my vision in all areas of my life. I freely share my experiences and support without judgment or competition, treating others as I wish to be treated. We are each other's greatest fans. The Graduate Thrivers education, coaching, skills, tools, techniques, inspiration, and mindset are why I am fearless. Therefore, no challenge, opportunity, or goal is bigger than me. I know no failure, only temporary setbacks that allow me to redirect my actions. I embrace the experiences that serve me well and quickly release those that do not. This is why I thrive and succeed. I am respected, accountable, and trusted to honor the promises I make to myself and others. I am the change. I am the person I want our next generation to be. I am a Graduate Thriver. All right, and so one of the things that through Graduate that we've created, or I came up with, is what we call the 4 C's of success. And the first C is commitment. So one of the most important things is making a commitment to yourself, making a commitment to an idea of something that you want to accomplish, whatever it is, but make a commitment and follow through. The second C would be communication. Hey, thanks. Communicate your message clearly and effectively. And, you know, we need to share what we want to do. And by sharing and communicating effectively, you'll have people come forward that will help support you. The third C is Exactly that, your community, which is 2 or more people that will support and encourage you who are like-minded. So sharing in your community ideas that you have, like dancing on a train. That's one of my crazy wild ideas. I have no idea why or whatever. But Linda actually was at our vision board and she started asking me questions about that. And, you know, the fact that I used to take the train when I was a teenager to go visit my husband because I couldn't drive. Obviously, the train represents love to me. So obviously, there's a clear connection to a train there. So whatever your idea is, communicate it, have a community of people that will help it support you. And then finally, the 4th C is collaborate. You can't be successful unless you collaborate because you can't do everything well. And so we have our strengths and our weaknesses, and our weaknesses we want to share with other people so that they can complement you. So the 4th C is collaboration. Yeah, lets others do what they are really good at. Hey, that was pretty good. I know my 4 C's well, don't I? All right, so I'd like you to reflect on this question here. This is our PAZ talk. So PAZ is Positive Attitude Zone talk cards, and we have 50 different cards. We chose this one for today. If you won $1 million, what will you do with it? I'd like you to type that in your chat quickly off the top of your head. Just stick it in the chat. What would you do if you won $1 million today?
You're going to be so bored with my answer.
Uh-oh.
Invest it.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Dinner with lots of cheese and ketchup, different kinds of ketchup.
Okay, so let me put that in for Sandy.
Like craft dinner.
You'd buy lots of craft dinner.
Yep. Lots of cheese, different types of ketchup.
Lots of cheese. Different types of. Whoops. Okay, this one's for me.
I was trying to find the chat box.
It's on the bottom of your screen.
Well, no, because I'm sharing a screen, right? It's in a
Oh.
different place, so yeah.
Right. Penny Lee would open a dance studio wellness gathering. Positive energy. Voila, that's me. I guess I should put my contact info in.
There we go.
It's me. And I'm going to give you my dancing motivator email.
So I really love these cards because I have them here, and Aubrey and I use them every now and again. It's great to, you know, how kids, you know, often they come in, so how was your day? Okay, and you can't get them talking, so you pull the cards, and then it really starts building conversations. It's really cool. I love it.
See that? That's really cool.
Yeah, when we first came out, so there's 5 different categories, and when we first came out with them, my daughter was 5, and so I would pick 5 cards, and we would answer those questions before she went to bed, and we write them in a journal. And it's funny because I've kept them, and so it's interesting to see the answers that she wrote when she was 5, and then the answers that she wrote when she was 10. You know, it changes. Anyways, they're really neat cards, and I actually use them for birthday parties, and I'll grab a little journal, and for somebody's birthday I'll have all the guests pick a card and answer the question as if they're giving advice to the birthday person. Anyway, so yeah, lots of different things you can do.
Okay.
Oh yes, we just wanted to use the chat box, Linda, for so that we could capture it, and then people would have the contact information. But yeah, we can have everybody share as well. So Linda was just asking if we could share verbally.
I'm gonna
Sure.
I'm gonna go first because you know what? It's like this is something that I've been wanting to do forever, and I know if I ever won the $1 million, it's a slam dunk. It's opening up a resource center for women, removing all barriers. Everybody that wants or needs it can come and build skills, and it's all about that social enterprise where you know what, if they can't afford to pay for even some of the workshops, they can come and volunteer and do stuff, whether it be in an office and learn some skills, pay it forward, earn their coin or whatever to participate in the workshops is great. Having kids there, having opportunities for the kids, that's been a dream of mine for as long as I can remember. So that would be mine. Who's next?
I can go next.
Awesome.
So I would invest it and live off the growth. So 5% a year, $50,000 a year. I could totally live off that. And I would travel more. I'm a bit of a travel nut, and there's so much of this world that I'd love to see. I also really enjoy investing in real estate, so I'd expand my portfolio that way. And my Smile Fund, so you'll hear about that in a few minutes, but I would definitely beef that up. I'd be able to afford a lot more smiles for underprivileged children, and I think I would take that whole thing just to the next level.
Cool.
Yeah.
Who's next?
I'll go. So I'm also one of the people who'd invest it. I think the next year to 18 months is going to be fantastic if you're in the right stuff. And then after that, I do things like pay off some of the debt, so I just don't have to pay off interest on stuff, right? Get rid of that kinds of stuff. And then I look at what else do I want to do to maximize the returns, not just on money, but also on, you know, happiness and all the other parts of life.
Good. Who's next?
I'll go. I think it's as simple as just travel. To me, is to, you know, really travel, because these are, you know, times that I can really travel well and have fun. Yeah.
Awesome.
Linda.
I really would just put it in the bank with all the rest and invest it. Yeah, for sure. Just have it grow. And I don't have anything, whenever I think about, you know, dreaming about having $1 million, it just comes up and it's always the same answer. It's, well, if you want to do that, why don't you do it? Because travel doesn't cost $1 million. You know, it may cost you, depends on what you do. We've had trips that are pretty nice. And, you know, so you spend $25,000 on a trip, that's fine, but it's not $1 million. So to me, it doesn't take very much to travel, and if that's what you want to do. But I would certainly invest it and then do something else with the residual income that comes from that.
Christine.
I'm kind of in the same boat as Linda. I would basically, I'll use the word bank it, but invest it. And then just take a look around and see what I want to do. So there may be, you know, donations I want to make, volunteering I want to do. I'm basically 9 years away, 8 years now from retiring from the federal government. So I'm already planning ahead. I mean, I'm in a really good spot right now. My 2 years ago, everything turned around completely in my work setting. So for me, if we talk about success, I'm thriving in all ways, shapes, and forms in my current area. But for the $1 million, yeah, just I think it equals more choice. So I would just put it somewhere, you know, pepper it around a bit, and then determine what choices I want to make. I would travel, I would do other things like that, but yeah, that would be the starting point, and then I'll just sit back and go, okay, what's next? Let's see.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm with you, Christine, because what I do is every client I get, I make a donation to Dress for Success and the food bank. Because it's my way of showing gratitude for having a new client. And they certainly appreciate having the cash infusion that I can give them. So right off the top, 10% would go to some of my favorite causes.
Awesome. Sandy, what would you do if you won? Oh yeah, we already said if Sandy won $1 million, she would buy. What's that?
I was just going on the theme song if I had $1 million.
I like that song. If I had $1 million.
I have my wellness center for equines and canines going on strong, and I'd be investing the money that I would make off of that wellness center and work it that way.
Did you guys hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay, so you must be sitting near my speaker. I don't know where my speaker is on my Mac, but anyways. So that's good. It's a good thing, Sandy. Anyhow, for me, I've always wanted to have some sort of a gathering place or what have you. And now that I'm doing my dancing, I think it would be quite appropriate to have like a dance wellness center and a gathering place for people to come and share positive energy. And yeah, that's what I would like to do with the $1 million if I won it. And of course I would invest as well, but that would be the main thing that I want to have.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for sharing, everybody. So now it's my privilege to introduce to you our guest speaker for this evening. Our theme today, so we focus on the the 4 cornerstones, which is your relationships, your assets, your emotional well-being, and your physical well-being. And so our theme today is actually emotional, and it's the emotions of money. And Melany is the founder and CEO of Pulse Wealth Management. She is passionate about helping people protect themselves financially from whatever life throws their way and gives themselves the retirement they've always deserved of. Did I
Desire?
say? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, protect themselves financially from whatever life throws their way and give themselves the retirement they've always deserved of while doing the things they love today. Melany was voted Ottawa's favorite financial advisor by her loyal and dedicated clients by Faces Magazine in 2019, which is very exciting. Pulse gives back with their Smile Fund through which is local. Through which local underprivileged children receive the dental and orthodontic care that they need but would not otherwise be able to afford. And Melany's going to share her story, which is very, very inspiring. From a portion of every plan is donated to this fund, so clients not only feel that their goals are being accomplished, but they are also giving back and contributing to a greater cause by working with her. So Melany.
Hey, hello. Thanks for having me, everybody. I'm very honored to be here. Penny did mention that last year we won the Favorite Financial Advisor of the Year award, which was exciting, but I sent her that bio a while ago, and Linda Bevulik would know because she was with me at the award ceremony this year, that 2020 we took home the Ottawa's Favorite Financial Planning Firm. So that was really exciting.
Fabulous. Congratulations.
Yeah, it was real fun to be there with you and with Miles. It was nice.
That was fun. You guys hadn't seen each other in a long time.
Funny enough, time.
Linda and Miles go way back, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, way back to his high school graduation, his high school days. He hasn't changed a bit, you know. He was a nice kid then, and he's grown into a very nice man, and I'm so pleased he has such a nice wife. I'm happy for him.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you so much. So a little bit about about me. So in a nutshell, I'm a wealth advisor and I work with affluent business owner women primarily. So women who have, 3,000 plus cash flow on a monthly basis and are finally ready to put a plan in place to accomplish all their financial goals that they've been saying in the back of their mind for way too many years. One day I'm going to, one day I'm going to. And so they've got all these, fantastic goals and have never really done a whole lot with them, or they're kind of stuck on, the who, what, when, where to actually accomplish their goals. So that's where I come in. I'm kind of a master Tetris player, if you will, and I put all those pieces together for them in a nice package and make sure that they have great success. So a bit about sort of my story. Liz really wanted me to share this with you, so I'm going to. I didn't grow up affluent, which is a big understatement. I actually grew up in a very underprivileged family. Lots of chaos, not really good stuff happening. And, parents didn't do the right things with money. And I was born with a cleft lip and palate, which is a birth defect that affects roughly 1 in every 600 babies. So it's pretty common. But if you've ever seen a child who hasn't had their teeth fixed after having their palate fixed, their teeth are just destroyed. They're absolutely mangled. I mean, they're every which way, and it's not a pretty sight. I kind of make light of it and say it's like alien teeth. It is that awful. And if you're a child and you don't get that fixed, it's just not nice. I dealt with a lot of bullying, and it was not good. And so long story short, I moved out when I was 14, actually. And I moved in with my friend and her parents. And one of the first jobs that I had was buttering toast and serving breakfast to the rich old men at the Flying Club in Smiths Falls. And one day, I guess I made quite an impression on this old man because he pulled my friend's dad aside outside and he said, "Hey, is there not anything that they can do about that scar on her lip?" And he said, "What do you mean the scar on her lip?" And he said, "Well, I was chatting with her and she's such a sweet, beautiful young girl, but I can tell she has no self-confidence whatsoever. And I'm assuming it's because of that scar on her lip. So is there not anything that they can do about that?" And he kind of laughed and he said, "Oh my God, the scar on her lip. Have you not seen her teeth? If she could fix anything in the world, it would be her teeth. But we just can't afford it." And the old man said, "Well, listen, I'm old, I've got a lot of money, and I'm going to die soon. So I'd really like to help her. You take her, get her teeth fixed, whatever the cost is, I don't care. Just send me the bill, and I'll take care of it. The only thing I ask is that you don't repeat my name to anybody." Well, to this day, I have not repeated that man's name to a single soul, and I will take it to my grave. My husband doesn't even know this man's name, and he is dead now. But he changed my world in a way that I could never possibly explain to you. I strongly believe that I just wouldn't have the things that I have, and I wouldn't be in the position that I am in today if it weren't for him. Because as much as people want to say looks don't matter, when you have that kind of a deformity in the middle of your face, trust me, looks matter. So I went from, crying myself to sleep every night, hoping and wishing and praying to God that one day, I would get my teeth fixed, to lying awake in bed at night, every night, starstruck. I didn't realize that there were actually people like that in this world. I didn't grow up with them, that's for sure. And I didn't know how I was going to do it. 14, living in my friend's, parents' house, how I was going to do it. But I knew that one day I was going to pay it forward. And so I thought I wanted to become a dentist. Because when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, I wanted to make sure I was helping people. And it had something to do with that. But I only lasted 4 months in the field. It was disgusting. I couldn't stomach it, and I was out. And so the next thing I took a job, an admin job in a financial planning firm, and I became really close with the business services manager there. And she said to me one day, you know what, Melany, I really think that you should, go back to school, take what you need to take. I really think you should get into financial planning. And I said, why? What makes you think that? And she said, well, one, you could help so many people with that. And that was one of my prerequisites. And you could take this dream of paying for a child's smile reconstruction and turn it into reality by creating your own step-by-step financial plan. And that was my light bulb moment. That was when I knew that that's what I needed to do. I needed to be able to help people get on their feet financially. And that is what I did in the beginning. I actually primarily worked with people who are in a lot of debt in a terrible situation. I'm not really in that space anymore. I'm definitely more in the affluent business owner market of really growing wealth. But that is where I started, and I've helped some people, really get into some great places. And so I am incredibly, incredibly passionate about that. And now I have my own Smile Fund. So I am paying it forward. And like Linda Babulik, a portion of every plan of a new client goes into the Smile Fund. And actually there's enough in there, which is so exciting, to do my first smile. I just have to find the right kid, which is very hard because I really want someone who has a cleft lip and palate and has not had the chance to be able to financially afford to fix that. So if you know anyone, please send them my way or connect me. I would love to chat with them.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. So that's a bit about me and sort of my backstory. Let's talk about beliefs and the emotions behind money. Would you say that it's fair to say that most people feel scared about money? They have a lot of guilt around money. They have a lot of fear about money. They're very confused about money.
Yep.
Yeah, who would agree with that?
For sure.
That's a lot of people, right? Well,
I'm not afraid of the money. It's the damn bookkeeping that scares the hell out of me.
well, you got
Oh,
Liz.
come on now. You're getting better at that.
That's why I got Liz in my back pocket.
Oh,
Beliefs are often inherited. Do you agree with that?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, beliefs are inherited. And because people generally don't talk about money, I don't know why, people think it's a faux pas, but anyway, people don't talk about money. And so it's very common for people to feel that whether they're managing their money right or wrong, whatever they're feeling is normal about money. Money doesn't have to be scary. I'm telling you that for a fact. It doesn't have to make you feel guilty, and it doesn't have to be confusing. I know because I was in that position, and I'm not anymore. If you think that it does, I'm telling you that it's very likely an inherited untrue belief system. And the good news is that there are tools that can help you believe that it doesn't have to be that way. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So there are two ends of the spectrum that people fall into when it comes to money management. Generally speaking, there's a few who dabble perfectly in the middle, but that's not the most common case. One end of the spectrum is the people living in what I like to call the past depression. You know any of those? You know the people who just want to squirrel away all their nuts and save it for a rainy day, and they're terrified to spend money. And if they do, they feel so guilty about it, especially if it's on themselves.
Yep.
Who do you know who's in that position? It may even be you. And then there's the other end of the spectrum that is the I deserve it, so I need it, and if I have to, I'll just put it on my credit card and I'll worry about it later. Mm-hmm. Who knows people like that?
Sandy said that's her.
Exactly.
Not me.
Wow. My husband and I were at opposite ends of the spectrum, funny enough. It was the one way in which opposites attracted, but it didn't really go the way that we planned it. It caused a lot of problems. He was the nut, gatherer, too afraid to spend money, and I was like pulling out the credit card. believe it or not, that was me. And I deal with it later. And there was a time in my life where I discovered financial planning that I didn't know how to sometimes make my next interest payment. So we got together, and as you can imagine, that was kind of a recipe for disaster. Caused a lot of turmoil between us. So we knew we needed to create a solution for this. We wanted to be together so badly, but we also knew, just like you all know, that money makes the world go round. Whether we like it or not, it does. And if you are not on the same page with your spouse about money, good luck. You're going to be in the 50-50 divorce rate, right? Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure.
So what do? And this is what you should do if you're in this situation. Most people in their lifetime, when clients come to me, I don't care if they have no money invested or they are my high net worth clients that have millions. I don't care how much money you have. Every single client of mine does a budget. And if they're a business owner, they do a personal budget and a business budget. Because how can you possibly understand your money if you don't know what's coming in, what's going out, and what's left over at the end of the month? So the first thing we did is we created our budgets, a personal and a business. So we understood very clearly, what we bring in and what we absolutely had to spend on a monthly basis to live our lifestyle. And then we had this what's left over. And that what's left over is your cash flow. And that was things that we were going to use for our goals, like retirement and traveling and buying properties and that sort of thing. Now, creating budgets are all well good. Who has done a budget before? Right. And how'd that work for you? Did it work?
Yeah.
No.
For a while,
right?
and then I had to tweak. But I turned around and called it a spending plan because I wanted permission to that I could spend my money.
Sure, you call it whatever you like, girl. Same thing.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. For the very few people who actually do, I am really washed out right now. 1 second. There we go. Lighting is different now. For the people who have done a budget, they've taken that step that most people haven't, they are still unsuccessful. And here's why. I bet you're not taking that stupid piece of paper or that Excel budget to the store with you every time you make a purchase, and you're getting out your pen and you're scratching out 300 and you're minusing 50 and you're totaling 250 for every line item that's in your budget. It's not happening. And so if you're not tracking how much you've spent, then you can't possibly know how much you have left over in your, I'm going to use Liz's terminology, spending plan. And if you don't know how much you spent and how much you have left over, then what are you doing? Can anybody throw the word out there? What are you doing?
Charging.
Yes, the credit card. Yes, you're overspending is what you're doing. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. You have no idea where you're at. I want the Starbucks. I'm tapping my card. I'm getting the Starbucks. At the end of the month, oh shit. That's what's happening. And so it's not enough to do that. You need an expense and savings tracker. There's lots of them out there. You've probably heard of Mint. I'm not really a fan of it. There's security breaches with, making claims on fraud. But there are other ones. There's You Need a Budget. We have created our own exclusive expenses savings tracker web tool for our clients. And the reason that we did that is simply because security. And also we were able to customize it exactly how we want for people to be able to manage their money. But in a nutshell, it's basically the envelope system mobilized. Okay. So envelopes of money, and at your fingertips. There's one you might like, you can try, that's available to anyone on the internet. It's called You Need a Budget, UNAB. You Need a Budget. I have a friend of mine who's using that. She loves it and has really, really great success. But basically, you want something that's not going to just track what's happened in past in your account. That's like Mint. That's not going to do anything. You're still going to have that oh shit moment at the end of the month. You also want an app that is going to track what you've saved up and how much is left of that, not just what you've spent. So what does that do? What does that envelope system do for you? Well, for us, it gave us full visibility into our finances at the tip of our fingers at any moment, so we know at all times what we had spent and how much we have left. We proactively buy everything. We completely eliminated overspending. The credit card, we put everything on the credit card, but it's all paid off, and that's because of the envelope system. So what does this mean? No longer does my husband worry about buying a stupid t-shirt when he wants a t-shirt, because in the budget, we have our line items that we've allocated, and it gives us permission, which Liz would love, to spend that money guilt-free, worry-free, stress-free. That is literally what it's there for. To spend on clothing, to spend on sports, to spend on entertainment, to spend on eating out. You have allocated all that, and we've allocated all that after we have already accounted for those big financial goals like retirement and all of that. Completely eliminates the fear of spending money, the guilt behind spending money. So have a budget and follow that up with an expense and savings tracker tool, because otherwise the budget really means nothing at all. So my husband can now spend money, and well, it's helped me because now I actually have limits to live within, and I no longer have buyer's remorse because I stay within those limits. So it worked out really, really well. Now, the second part of eliminating the fear is specific to business owners, and I wanted to throw this into you today, for you today, because it's specific to you. And it's the idea of not commingling your money. It is one of the biggest mistakes that business owners, whether you're a sole proprietor or you're a corporation, it doesn't matter, you should be running your money like a business, is that people have one account. When they come to me and they have one account, it's like, oh my gosh, no wonder you're overwhelmed and you're confused. How do you pay all your business expenses, your personal expenses, your business savings, your personal savings, your HST, your income tax, your dividend tax, all from this one account? That is for sure going to create a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of, oh my God, I just see this lump sum in my bank account every month. I have no real idea how much money I truly have and can spend, because I know, oh, but wait, there's HST, there's income tax, there's this, there's that, oh, but that mortgage, oh, but this. That is stressful. How can you ever spend money and feel confident? You can't. So don't commingle your money. What you need to do is you need to have 4 accounts, okay? You can have less accounts if you have a good expense and savings tracker. But if you don't, even if you do, I'd still recommend 4 accounts. 2 checking, 2 savings, okay? The first one is obviously going to be your business account. Again, even if you're not incorporated, just open another personal checking account and name that one your business account. And that account is going to be where all your clients pay you, all your revenues go into, everything goes into that account. Everything. All your income goes in there. Then what you're going to do, remember, in the beginning of this presentation, we talked about you filled out a personal budget, you filled out a business budget, so you know exactly how much money you need to live your personal life, and you know exactly how much money you need to live your business life. So what you're gonna do, I'm gonna make up an example. You got paid $20,000. Your personal budget was $3,000, your business budget was $3,000, to make this super simple. You get paid $20,000 into your business account. The first thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna do the right thing and cover off that tax bill. So your second account is going to be your business savings account. Now we have a business checking, all your revenue goes into it, and you have a business savings account, and you're going to put your HST in there. That's easy, look at the invoice. And then you're also going to, whatever your percentage of tax is that you set aside, call it 20 or 30%, whatever that is, you're gonna take that 20% of that 20 grand and you're gonna put it in that account. Then what you're going to do, you need to leave 3 grand in that business checking account, right? That is what you need to run your business life. So you're gonna leave 3 grand in there. So let's just say of that 20 grand for easy math, we're going to use all 3,000. You put $3,000 into your HST and your tax account. Okay. We've left 3 grand in the business account. So now we've got the balance, and that's what we're going to use. We're going to put 3,000 into the third account. The third account is your personal checking account. That is the salary that you're going to pay yourself to live your personal lifestyle. And you're going to take that amount of money right from the budget. So in this case, it's 3 grand. So we've paid 3 grand to cover your business expenses, 3 grand to cover your personal, and 3 grand to pay your taxes and your HST. That's 9 grand. We have 11 grand left. What are we going to do with the balance?
In the other savings account, of course.
So the other savings account is going to be your profit account. So that's going to be your business account. It's going to be a business savings account. And that's going to be your profit. So to recap, all that 11 grand is going to go in there. And so what happens is the goal is not to touch it. That's your profit. That's what you're going to put towards your retirement and your travel. And that's what you're going to build the wealth in your corporation or your business. And you're going to invest that. Now, I understand that business income is not consistent most of the time, unless you're one of the few businesses that do have consistent. So the fact that it's not consistent, that profit account can sort of be like your short-term emergency account. So if you need to pull more money out of there because you had a slow month, you can do that. And that's why you're going to leave the profit in that just bank savings account for a few months or 6 months until you're confident that you know, I've got enough of a stream of revenue coming in. I am confident moving $5,000 into my savings. So we got that all down? Okay, 4 accounts: business, checking for your revenue. We've got a personal for your personal budget. We've got your leaving in your business budget is your business expenses. We've got your business savings account, which is your HST and income tax. And then we have your profit account. Those things are going to bring you incredible clarity around your money. You're going to know exactly how much you have saved for the government. There goes that fear gone, because you know that you've proactively saved. And when the government comes knocking, you can smile and hand over that check because it's there, and you're not freaking out and losing sleep at night all year because, okay, the tax time, everybody dreads taxes. But if you've saved in advance, then you will eliminate that fear and that worry. And by uncommingling your money, you will eliminate confusion and really have great clarity with your money. Now, the last thing we're going to cover today is shifting the mindset with personal insurance. Let me ask you a question, ladies. Jump in here. If you owned a machine and it literally made money for you, it printed money, would you protect it? Would you take out an insurance policy on it?
Yeah.
Heck yeah, you would.
For sure.
You would want to know that if something happened, the dog, trampled over it or something, that, if it was making $3 grand a month, you're still bringing in $3 grand a month from that, insurance policy. Let me ask you a question. What is your greatest financial asset?
I didn't hear that.
What's your greatest asset?
Financial asset.
Yourself.
Financial.
More specifically.
It's your ability to earn.
It's your ability to earn income. If you don't believe me, here's an example. Let's say you're 40 years old. Now, that's probably an insult to some of you and probably a really great thing to you. But let's say you're 40 years old and I don't know, you make $60,000 a year, okay? You lost that income. And let's say that income was growing at 5% per year. What do you think? If you lost that income at 40 years old until you retired at 65 years old, how much of an asset do you think that is? Throw out willy-nilly numbers. Do you think it's $1 million? Do you think it's $2 million?
$2 million.
$2 million. $2.8 million. If you were 40 years old, you made 60 grand, That is a $2.8 million asset. So people seem to think that their house is the greatest asset. $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, and it's a big asset, and that's why we insure it, right? We insure our cars for freak's sakes, and those things are like 20 grand. But why are we not insuring our $2.8 million asset, our largest asset? If you lost your income, how would you pay for things? How would you pay for your mortgage? How would you pay for the meals and your childcare and all of that, right? Let's talk about odds for a second. Winning the lotto is 1 in?
A million?
That's a good guess. 14 million. 1 in 14 million.
Wow.
A shark attack, 1 in 4 million. Hit by lightning, 1 in 80,000. A house fire is 1 in 300.
Wow.
Yeah. An auto accident, 1 in what? You know the numbers are going down.
Yeah, there's hardly any numbers for car accidents these days. That totally screwed up your statistics
It's
in the
true.
last
It's
month.
true. Let's ignore
What
the
do you
last
mean, like
month.
2 months ago?
Yeah. 1 in 25.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
1 in 25.
Wow.
Wow.
I've been in a couple and I'm only 30. So I like to say I'm 30. But 1 in 25. Now here's the thing. We insure our cars. Our cars are like $20,000. And the reality is, I mean, I got into a fender bender. Some guy hit me. And the damage was like $2,200. And I pay like $140 a month. Well, because I use my car for business too, and it's a nice car. But I pay so much money a month to protect this stupid $20,000, $30,000 car for a $2,200 accident. But in my mind, you know, that makes sense. We don't really question that. And for some reason, people sometimes have a hard time understanding that they should protect their far greater asset. Disability, 6 years or longer. 1 in?
Oh gosh.
4. You have a 25% chance of being disabled for 6 years or longer before you retire. 1 in 4.
Wow.
Is your income protected? Do you have insurance in place so that, God forbid, an accident should happen or an illness should happen, especially as we're getting older, that you would still have your paycheck coming in every month? Critical illness is 1 in 3. Heart attack, stroke, cancer, Parkinson's, MS. And I promise you, you all know somebody with at least one of those. I can name a person for every one of those. And there's 26 critical illnesses. That's 1 in 3. Now, look at one square on Zoom right now. Look at one other person. The scary statistic is that you or the person you're looking at right now is going to have cancer in their life. 50%. So 1, your income is by far your greatest asset. If you lost it, it would be detrimental to your family and your business. If it's not protected, you really need to get that in place, to start really valuing your income because it is your greatest financial asset. Government plans, just take my word for it because we don't have time to go into it. They will not cover you near enough. There is little protection that they will provide. Large corporations really understand this. That is why large corporations, every single one of them, have group benefit plans for their employees because they understand the real terrible risk of one of their employees losing their income and what that can mean to their family. So if the largest corporations understand this and all of their employees are insured, and especially their executive and especially themselves, you are your biggest, most important employee. You're not protected. Why aren't you? Right? So food for thought, that's all. Disability insurance, believe it or not, will give you half of your money back if you never get sick. Car insurance doesn't do that. Home insurance doesn't do that, but your disability policy will. And critical illness insurance will give you 100% of your money back if you never get sick. So if you want to start sleeping at night, eliminating that fear going to bed of, oh my God, what happens if COVID type thing happens again, or I lose my income because Susie lost hers and she's screwed. If you want to eliminate that fear and that terrible mindset, honestly, for a small amount of money on a monthly basis, just get it in place. You have no idea the peace that it will bring over you, because I do this for my clients all the time, and it's amazing to see the change in them when they finally feel financially secure. I think I'm over my time, so I'm going to shut up now. That's really all I had for you. I hope you enjoyed that. Does anyone have any questions?
That was really good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Because the one thing I have a question about disability, because I know from years ago I used to have a partner in insurance, and I studied a bit of it years and years and years ago. So my question is for sole proprietors.
Yeah.
So I know if you have no income, there is no disability benefit. So in cases like this whole period, like thank God it doesn't affect me, and I expect it's not going to. But I know there are entrepreneurs out there, a lot of sole proprietors that have lost their income totally. So how would that affect the disability insurance premiums and stuff like that?
Yeah. Really great question. I'm really happy that you asked that. I'm a broker, which means that I'm not stuck. Nobody owns me. I have the ability to find my clients the right product. I can go to any insurer in Canada and any investment company in Canada, which is a huge asset. So there is a product called loan insurance. I actually just set it up for a client yesterday. And what it is it's not income tested at all. So you can apply without making any income. And what it is you just have to have debt. So what it is it's if you become disabled, you will receive the benefit per month. And as long as you can say, let's say your benefit is $2,000, as long as you can show, okay, here's my mortgage, my line of credit, whatever, and it's $2,000, you get your $2,000. So that's kind of how it works. And the benefit that insurance actually has over disability insurance is that it's not integrated with other sources. And what I mean by that is with disability, if your husband, if you have a group plan, which isn't really applicable, but if you're receiving auto benefits because you were in a car accident and you're receiving, EI, and you're receiving whatever other benefits you may be receiving for the situation, when you have your own personal disability insurance, they will all integrate together. And so that you are not making more than a maximum percentage. Usually it's 85%. It's called the overall maximum. You can't make more than 85% from all of those plans, which is, normally when I set these plans up, I ensure that the benefit that you're going to receive doesn't exceed that. But with the loan insurance, there is no integration. So it wouldn't matter if you hit your 85% max with your other sources. You would get this on top of that. So you have the ability to receive an even higher overall benefit for your disability than if you were just to have disability. The reason I set that plan up for the client yesterday, she's on mat leave. And if you're not actively at work 20 hours per week, you can't get disability. So it was a great solution. She was very happy with.
So what's the alternative if you don't have debt? Because it's funny, I found myself and it wasn't until I just bought this car that I did not have any debt. And I still knew that, with the disability insurance, should I not have any income, then it's totally, from what I understand anyway, you're totally out of.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is if what you're insuring is your income.
Right.
So if you're not making an income, then there's nothing to insure. If you're not making an income and you don't have a debt, there's nothing that they can give you to replace, right? So you do have to have an income. So I would suggest that then you really want to beef up your savings for emergencies.
Yeah, and I think that's really important and it's funny because I studied the insurance because the guy I was with did insurance. Was I aware of that? And when I point that out to sole proprietors especially, some of them go like, oh my gosh, like seriously? So and so that's why I think it's really important, that whole mindset of saving and not, I've seen so much of this scarcity and lack mindset of being promoted lately. But I think if people come from that other side, that, okay, so you know what, we do want to work to the point where we're not in debt. I know I did. but to know that little bit about the disability insurance, for them to have that mindset, okay, so I need to, it's good for me to save some money, just to have that, rather than that whole scarcity mindset thing. It's
big time. I think that there's going to be good things that come out of COVID. And I think one of them is people feel that they don't need, a few months savings, or, a little bit is okay. And I think that this is a real eye opener for people. You need a lot more than that. Like, you need to be prepared, to be down and out for 6 months. You really, have to be prepared for that.
This is definitely an eye opener.
Yeah.
Sure.
What about other types of business insurance? In case you get into, general liabilities of somebody suing you. Like, I mean, there's some other ones that can just completely wipe out your business.
Yeah, big time. So today I was talking about income protection, but there is professional liability. If you want to chat with someone about that, I can connect you. It's not under my license, so I can't talk a whole lot about it, other than the fact that, it protects you from people suing you. E&O, errors and omissions, it's really important to have. For sure. If you don't have that, you should definitely have that. I have that in case somebody, tries to sue me, saying that I gave them bad advice, or the market didn't go their way and they're pissed off about it. So I have an insurance policy in place. But in my contract too, that my clients sign, they sign saying that if they're going to sue me, they can only sue me for the upfront planning fee of, if it was $3,000 or $5,000, that's all they can sue me for. So that's another way that you can protect yourself, is if you're putting contracts in place with clients, make sure it's written up by a lawyer, spend the $1,500 or whatever it is, to get that in place, because you can limit your liability that way. Now, in the end, good lawyers are, can they fight that? I mean, sure, but that's why you have your errors and omissions. But like my errors and omissions, I think it's $2 million, something like that. But in my contract, as I said, it's limited to the upfront planning fee. And so should that, for whatever reason, not hold up in court, I don't know why it wouldn't, because it was written up by a lawyer. But if it doesn't, then I fall back on my errors and omissions. So that's really important. There's another type of insurance policy for corporate and self-employed business owners called overhead insurance. And what it is regular disability covers your personal income. So if you're drawing a salary from the business, or if you're a sole proprietor, that is all of your income. There's another one called overhead insurance, and that is a business expense policy. So let's say you've got your personal disability, and that would be based off of, there's a couple different ways you can calculate it, using dividends and gross revenue, or personal salary. But that's going to cover your personal expenses. The overhead is going to cover your business expenses. So you can have one policy covering your personal income for, call it, $3,000 a month. And then you can have a business overhead policy that your business owns, covering another $3,000 a month. And so that policy is going to cover your business expenses, and this one's going to cover your personal lifestyle expenses.
I know.
It's a great way of getting more coverage, because you can max out personally. So then if you want more coverage, then you can just take out a business policy.
I know one of the things that I look at when I look to volunteer on boards and stuff like that is that they have to have director insurance, because I know afterwards they can come after the personal assets of anyone who's volunteering. You're trying to do a good thing, and they're coming after your assets. And one of the organizations I volunteered at, they had that happen in the past, and so they were they were strict about setting it up. Right. But I'm like, okay, I want to make sure that's also a protection. Well, I mean, it was car racing, so somebody died. Right.
Oh, God. Okay.
But, I can understand. But I mean, it's a high risk sport that you have to sign waivers that, in order to participate.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, like, in a 15-minute presentation, there's only so much protection we're going to get into play. So I kind of try and narrow it down to, personal insurance and your business. But you're right. There are so many different ways. If you're hosting an event, then you need event insurance. There's just umpteen ways. But specifically, yes, make sure you have your errors and omissions in place. Make sure you have your liability, potential liability covered. But again, your biggest asset, you lose your income for a number of years, and that can definitely wipe you out in your business. So make sure you have that in place so you can feed your family and keep your business going.
So if our members have any other questions, they can get a hold of you and contact you and set up a meeting or discussion or whatever.
Sure, yeah. You can reach out. If you have any specific questions about what we've talked about today, for sure we can do that. To set up just an insurance policy, there's no fee for me because there's a commission that I would receive if you decide to put that in place and you need that. Feel free to reach out if you want to have a consult for financial planning. There's a $150 fee for that. And then I do charge for my planning, but I guarantee all of those fees. So if we work together, what it means is if you're going to pay me $4,000, then I guarantee that within the first year, you will at least make that in the growth in your wealth or your money back.
Fabulous. That was great. I loved it.
Thank you. Yeah, it was fun. I really, this type of meeting, presentation is just so much more fun for me to interact with people and have the conversation.
Yes.
Love it. Thank you so much for saying yes. We appreciate it. For sure.
Thank you. No problem. It was my pleasure.
I just wanted to make an announcement. Linda had to step out because she had another meeting, but she wanted to mention that she's going to be doing a presentation at Startup Canada, a webinar that she's presenting on the 23rd, and I have the Zoom link if anybody's interested. It's Activate Your Wise Woman Inner Power is what her topic is.
Cool.
Actually, you can add that into the chat, and that way when everybody saves the chat, they'll have the link. Be handy.
This chat thing is such a great idea.
I know, love it. I love it.
Yeah.
all these, and it's funny. I opened up Zoom today and I saw so many different things. I said, okay, they've been upgrading things. Going, I got to take on the tutorials there and learn what they're doing here.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Okay, so I'm gonna just do this here again. All right. Okay, Penny Lee.
All right. So I just wanted to mention that back to our positive reflection box, you got a little sample of it earlier. And so the positive reflection box is only $20. And the intention is for the profits to go to our not-for-profit that we're supporting in that current time frame. And so right now it's Pero, and the Pero Center is actually a mentorship and financial aid program for women in business. I'm actually delivering a workshop for them next Thursday, the 23rd as well. And it's at 10 o'clock in the morning. And anyway, so they have different people that do learning seminars that help women in business specifically. So that's what we're selling the positive reflection boxes for. Now, if anybody is interested in getting one, I have some here. Liz also has some at her place, and we can find ways to get them to you. However, we have checked about shipping by Canada Post, and it's the same price as the box, so that's probably not the best option. So we'll find other arrangements if you're interested in getting one. Normally we sell them at the event. But they're awesome. They're awesome, and I've given them away as gifts, and people love them. All right, so time for a quick break. I think it's really important that we get up and just stretch our legs, go to the bathroom, grab a glass of water, whatever it is you need. And so we're going to take 5 minutes. 5 minutes, okay? So what time is it now?
It's
8:05. So be back in 5 at 8:10 because Liz is going to do her talk, her lesson, stepping stone lesson. We don't want to miss that.
No, you don't.
Okay. That was fun, ladies.
Thanks, Melanie.
My pleasure. enjoy the rest of your meeting, and I would love for us to get together and do this again. It was a lot of fun.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'll be posting the video in our group. So what I'll do is I will, if you want, I can add you into the group, and then that way they can continue the conversation with you and make it easier to find you.
That would be great. Thanks, Liz.
All right. Thanks so
Okay,
much.
bye, ladies.
Bye.
Bye. Okay.
Oops.
I muted everybody.
I'm talking to myself. I said, I got both things done. I got a refill. I emptied and I got a refill. Okay. How are we doing for time? Oh, it's bang on, 8:10. Yay.
There we go. Okay.
Alrighty. So Christine's not back yet?
No.
Yes, I am.
So
Okay.
can you tell me what are you guys seeing? Are you guys seeing the gallery and everything else, or just the screen that I'm sharing?
The screen and the gallery.
It is, okay. All right, perfect.
It's on the main, and then
Okay.
the gallery is either on the side or on the bottom, wherever people have.
Perfect. I wasn't sure what you guys were seeing. So.
Alrighty, so here we go. Liz is okay. Friends Friday. Yes, I forgot about that. So Friends Friday, as you know, I started this Friends Friday movement about 7 years ago, actually, and we decided that we would make postcards, as you can see, and so we're selling the postcards so that you can take the initiative and write a note to a friend you haven't talked to in a while, or make a new friend, what have you. And we're selling the cards, of course, to help raise money for the not-for-profit as well. The cards are 12 cards. You get a pack of 12 cards for $5. That includes the shipping.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so if you want a set of 12 cards, please let us know. Now Liz is actually our teacher for tonight. Liz is going to share the Stepping Stones Money Matters lesson, and so of course Liz, M for Money Raymond, is my partner. And Liz is actually going to take it from here. She's going to. Oh, you wanted me to do a recap, right?
Just a real quick recap, yeah.
Yeah, so just a recap from last month, we had Craig March, who was talking to us about the law of attraction and how we can manifest all that we desire with the scientific studies and so on that he spoke of. And we had, okay, sorry, I'm just trying to find my notes here. Here we are. We had Craig talk about your influences, identifying your influences, and our homework was to, where are we? To identify who and what your influences are and what you wanted to change, what you were going to do to help make the change of those influences. So that was the homework. And this time around, we had sent out pre-homework, becoming aware of your beliefs around money. So Liz, take it away.
Okay. So I don't know how many of you actually, I sent it in links all over the place. So I'm learning some new things about MailChimp and how that is or is not working. Christine, I'm trying to unmute you, but you can unmute yourself when you're ready. So yeah, so if you didn't get the pre-homework, so what we're talking about tonight is what are your beliefs regarding money, success, wealth, and appearance. So what I wanted to kind of go over real quickly is, maybe getting some of you to share what your beliefs, when you first think about it, okay, so about money, what is your belief about money? And is it a negative belief or is it a positive belief? And again, we can do you can add it to the chat if you'd like, but I'd also just like to real quickly go around the room to see what one belief is that you have about money. So I'm going to go from the top that I see here. I see Penny Lee first.
Yeah, you have to work hard to make money.
Okay. Alita?
There's always enough to do what you really want.
Christine?
I have a money style.
You have a money style.
I have a money style.
Okay.
Money management style.
And Marie?
My husband's always made good money. I've moved 11 times in my life, and that's why I've never made good money. It's my belief.
Cool.
I'm going through that. I'm coming through that.
I
Okay.
hear you, Marie.
Yeah.
With the belief about you have to work hard to make money. I know that's not true, so I'm working on changing that belief. Sandy, what about you? What's your money belief?
It's not about the money.
It's not about the money.
Aw, right on.
Okay, and surprisingly enough, every once in a while, it still comes up for me that I'm not certified enough to get paid the good money, and so I've been working on that one for a while. So okay, so let's roll out. We're still going to work on see what the negative ones are coming up, or what comes up for you anyway. So for success, so Penny Lee, what comes up for you for success?
Oh, I have, well, I don't know what to say about success. I have a hard time with that word because it really depends on what your beliefs are about success. What is success? To me, success is accomplishing something. So yeah, you can have success in anything if you take action.
Cool. Okay, Alida, success. What's a belief about success? What pops up?
Multifaceted.
Multifaceted. Okay.
You can measure it in a lot of different ways. It can be money, it can be connections, it can be relationships, it can, like, there's lots of different ways to measure it.
Cool. Okay. Christine.
For me, success equals thriving in all respects.
Oh, cool. Very good. Okay, Marie.
Okay, last year I took a speaking course, and the classmates voted me for the leadership award. So to me, that brought to light that whatever I set out to do, I finish and I do it well.
Cool. Okay.
What?
And Sandy?
My success thought is unlimited possibilities.
Unlimited possibilities from Sandy.
Cool. And for me, success is something that I set an intention on and that I achieve. Okay, so wealth. Back to the top. Penny Lee. The belief about wealth.
Wealth. Wealth is available to anybody.
Cool. Good. Alida.
Sure, send me with a stumper. Wealth generates more wealth.
Okay, cool. Christine.
Mine was I'm not wealthy. I have everything I need. Whatever that means.
Okay. That's what came up. It's interesting. Okay. Marie, what did wealth bring up for you? Oh, you're muted, Marie. How'd you get muted? Did you mute yourself?
No, I could have.
Oh.
I could have. You know. Anyways, wealth to me is just, I really have an amazing health right now. So if I didn't have my health, I don't have anything. I've lived that. Mm-hmm. If I have ill health, then you don't have anything.
Okay. And it's funny, I know something that used to pop up for me a lot in the past, and I hear people say this still even now, is it's impossible for me to achieve wealth, which was rather interesting. And last but not least, impossible to achieve wealth. Yeah, impossible to achieve.
And
okay. Sandy?
The same as the last speaker there. My thoughts about wealth is you have to have health, wealth, and love in order to be on the top.
Health, wealth, and love to be on the top.
Cool. Okay, final one, appearance. Got a belief about appearance there, Penny Lee?
No, I don't believe that your appearance is the truth, because years ago I worked at Visage, and the owner of Visage was a multimillionaire, and they dressed down purposefully because they didn't want people attracted to them when they dressed up. So anyways, I don't believe appearance impacts either way.
Interesting. Okay.
Nice.
Alida, your
I'm
thoughts?
the opposite. I think appearance matters extensively, not necessarily to others. Yes, it does, but it matters most to yourself. Because
True.
if you're not willing to put effort into your own appearance, if you're not taking care of yourself, then why would anybody else want to take care of you to make up for your lack? You should, like, appearance is a reflection of how you see yourself.
Okay. Christine.
Mm-hmm.
Christine, what do you think about appearance?
I don't 100% trust appearance. So meaning that people are multifaceted. So appearance is one side of the equation, but I'm kind of like, you know what? Let's just see what else is there.
Cool. Marie.
I found this one really interesting because I really, actually I have to work on this now. I really hold the belief, an external belief, because I've always been told that, you know, I have good appearance. So that's always been, that's out there. It's not about owning it from inside out, it's outside in. So I it's something I'll work on now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sandy.
Oh, I have a problem with that a little bit. My thoughts are, don't judge a book by its cover.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
Because I'm a vision impaired person.
She's a vision impaired person?
And the comments I get from people that I don't appear to be blind.
Oh, she gets comments from people that she doesn't appear to be blind.
So never judge a book by its cover.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
Mm.
Okay, and for me, I know years ago things have changed, but I like to say from where I came from was that, you know, people do judge you by your appearance, and that tall people get paid more because they seem to have a bigger presence, and overweight people got paid less.
Mm.
So that was
Wow.
that was something that you know, was a belief in the past. But it's funny, as I went on my journey and I started to, as you know, as Melany said earlier, we gain our beliefs from others, right? So because when we're born, we don't have any foreign beliefs, and so, you know, our parents and our environment and teachers and experiences help us to form the beliefs that we have. And as we get old enough and become conscious enough, um, we understand that more, and so we need to unlearn those beliefs and choose new beliefs, new truths for ourselves. And it's funny, I've been reading this book, The Magic in Believing, and it's funny how he talks about having belief and faith, because you also have to have desire and action. And I love how he explains how belief and faith are first cousins. So he says beliefs are thoughts that you keep thinking. So there's something that you hold on to, and there are convictions that people hold. Whereas faith is the confidence that the belief will be realized. But we need to, for us to have the faith in the belief, we need to do something, right? So we can't just form these new beliefs and say, okay, I believe that, and not do anything. So we have to make action. So when we realize that we have become conscious and we have these negative beliefs about money, success, wealth, these sort of things, reframing those sort of things can sometimes be a challenge. I know when I first started reframing things, I had to turn to Stanley Lee and Melany a lot to try to come up with something, because I was so into that pool of negativity. It was really hard for me to flip things around. So what was really cool when I was doing up this lesson, I was thinking, okay, so, and I had to step back into that that place in 2008 to see where what my thoughts were there and what the new beliefs are. So I found it interesting that, for example, money was you know, it was, you have to work hard for your money, and I had all that sort of stuff. And one that came up was, you know, every time that you have a windfall, something shows up to wipe it all out. You know, you're always waiting for that other shoe to drop, right? So it was kind of great to be able to over the years shift. And so um, while I was shifting, and even that is gradual on what my thoughts were. So the first thought that I had to think was that not that I was broken, that I didn't have enough money. I started saying, okay, so I'm strategic in where I put my money. So it's a better way of saying, you know, that I don't have the money, but I strategically put the money where I need to, right? And then one that was started coming up even as I grew the journey was income opportunities come easily in unexpected ways. So I was always in the mindset that I had to earn the money. Well, it's not necessarily the case, you know, but to be open to that. And this is the thing about as we go through our journeys and become conscious of what we're thinking. This is what we can start doing. And it was a bit of a challenge to actually grasp that until money did come to me in one way that I didn't have to earn it. So that was pretty cool. And then of course, success, of course, we know that success does not have to equate to money. You know, it can be, because when the first time I got asked what my greatest success was, as I moved through the journey, well, to me, my greatest success was I raised my kids to be, you know, great adults. They both have great work ethics and all that sort of thing. And so that to me was my biggest success, and it had nothing to do with money whatsoever. So that was the other thing. And then wealth for me, that and it was funny to come up with that. Wealth was impossible for me to reach way back when, because I only focused that around money. And so when we kind of widen our thought process on that, well, to me, I was always I am wealthy because I have an abundance of friends that are in positive mindsets that constantly, you know, check in. They know if there's something wrong. I don't have to say anything. They'll check in. You know, I have great kids, that sort of thing. So, and even the connections that I make with people, I find that really wealthy because it brings me so much joy and warmth. And then, of course, the last thing is appearance. Well, one thing I've learned, and this again, it was through experience, was the more confident I became, you know, that kind of reflected on the exterior. So that had nothing to do with whether I was rich or poor or thin or fat or whatever. You walk in with confidence, and it makes a difference. And so, with that, the first step for your understanding your beliefs and whatnot is really being conscious, because I know I walked around for years being unconscious and just going on. So one of the things I would like you guys to do, it's like a little bit of an exercise, is taking a piece of paper. And so I'm just going to show you this. You can do this now if you want, and you can get started. So you're going to take the piece of paper and you're going to fold it in half. I love this exercise because it gets you thinking and widening your horizons, I guess you could say. So what you can do on the left-hand side is think about some things that come to you that, you know, sometimes we talk like our parents, and I don't know about you guys, but my mom, having grown up in the depression area, whatever, she was quite negative and sat in that lack and scarcity mindset. So she always said, you know, well, you have to work hard for your money, you know. So and if there's anything that you guys still hear yourself saying or thinking, you would write that on the left hand side. So you're going to put a minus sign on the left hand side, and then on the right hand side you're going to put a plus sign. So what you're going to do is, as you identify the negative thoughts You're going to write them down, and then you're going to sit and practice. How could you say it differently, or what would be the opposite of that, so that you start, it starts becoming a automatic thing. It's almost like, hitting the easy button. You kind of stop it, and then think about what the new thing is. So let's see here. And then what I like to do too, based on the influence lesson from last month, was tie that into the thought. Who was it that you heard that phrase from, or the thought from? And it kind of helps you, because we get stuck in some of these things. Well, you learned this from whoever, and then sometimes you start feeling anger or resentment or whatever, because this is something that now you've got to get over. So my point with this here is you look at who it is that said that, and then you kind of look at them and say, you know what, well, I forgive you, because you know what, you couldn't be who I need to be, or you couldn't give me what I need to be, or you know what, I know you are who you are, and you did the best that you could with what you had, and then to help with that whole process of shifting your mindset. So it's all connecting the dots. So if you want, you can maybe throw some in the chat if you want, or just take a few minutes and just stuff that you can go through, whether it has anything to do with your work, or I know coming up with in business, sometimes the challenges there, things come up quite often. And then what I would encourage you guys to do is, if you find that you are still having negative thoughts, keep this piece of paper with you, and just in point form note them when they pop up. And you can even, if you want to keep track of how often that thought comes up, you can put a little tick mark beside it to see how often it comes up. And then go back maybe about a week after or 2 weeks after, and go back and see which of these thoughts have more check marks. And so which ones are the ones you really need to work on, that might take a little bit more effort and be more conscious of. So just take a few minutes to write a couple of things down. And then while you're doing that, and I love it that Penny Lee is here, because although I've been learning more about how to reframe these things, Penny Lee is a real pro at she's quite often got the right words. So is there anybody who might want to share one, if you can't seem to get it flipped around on your own? Is there anybody who has one saying that they'd look at and see how we can reframe it?
My first one is money doesn't grow on trees.
Money doesn't grow on trees.
But my comeback, it does grow on trees, because that's what money used to be made of.
But it does grow on trees because money is made from paper, which comes from trees.
So that's good.
One of the ones that I've been working on, as you know, Liz, like I said at the beginning, you have to work hard for money. And so I am reframing that. I said it because it's an old money belief of mine. But what I have been affirming, and one of the things that, I don't know about you guys, but I know for me, my brain is very hardwired. And so I have to repeat in order to change the programming. And it's interesting, because I had listened to somebody, and they said, write an affirmation and write it out 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the daytime, and then 9 times before you go to bed. And so the same thing for 33 days straight. And it's not easy. it's not easy to do that, just so you know. But anyway, so my affirmation that I created to help me overcome this work hard for money is, money comes to me quickly, easily, and consistently. Actually, my affirmation is, I earn $1,000 a day quickly, easily, and consistently. And it's interesting. I started that back in December. I did it for 33 days, and then I'm trying to repeat it. And well, I failed yesterday. Today's day 1 again. I had done it for 10 days straight, and then I'm like, shit, I missed last night. I was so tired. I just, screw it. I went to bed and didn't do it. And so I'm starting over today. But what I wanted to point out is that since I've been affirming this, I have had 2 opportunities where people have come forward to offer me income opportunities. Didn't go looking for them. They just came to me, which is very cool. And even with my dance class, I'm doing it for free online, and I have people sending me money. So you know, the possibility to earn the $1,000 a day is very, very real to me now, because those opportunities came forward and presented themselves. And if I hadn't had that focus or switched my mindset, then the possibilities may have slipped by me.
So the equation apparently is 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, and 9 times at night?
Yep.
Okay.
So that's what I've been doing, and you know, it seems to be working as far as I can tell. And of course, when I did that with the exercise, that's what, you know, is a real affirmation for me, or confirmation that this is valid, is that I get paid to exercise, and I do. Today I get paid to exercise. And Christine, I'm sure you remember when I affirmed that, right? And so that's the thing, is it's simple to change it. It's just, we have to find the right wording that will resonate with us. And then after you repeat it over and over again, your mind starts to believe it, and then you start seeing things that will bring that to you. So it's very fascinating, I find.
Awesome. Alita, do you have something that's popped up at all?
One reflection I had was, possessions are good for about 30 seconds after you buy them. After that, it's the experiences you have with them that matter.
Okay, repeat that. That's good.
Possessions are only good for about 30 seconds after you buy them. After that, it's the experiences you have with them that matter.
And that's good, because that, I like that second thought, because then that gives you one way to think about it before you even purchase it, to make sure that, you know, that you're going to find you're going to have those positive experiences, that it's going to be a worthwhile purchase, right?
There's actually a belief of wealthy people that you wait 24 hours. So it's a wait method. And so if you want something, you can say, okay, I want that, but I will not buy it today. I will come back tomorrow and buy it. And if you want to make the effort to go back wherever to get it the next day, then it's more value to you, I guess.
Well, it's funny, because in our Money Matters book that we have, I'm in the midst of getting everything transitioned over digitally and whatnot. The audio that comes with it, done by Melany, says you should be waiting 3 days, and if you still want it after 3 days, then to go back. So, because it's part of the, is it a want or a need, right? So yeah. So make you wait a little longer.
Yeah, one of the things I found interesting, exactly what you said, Alita, is that the possessions are only good for 30 seconds after you buy them, but after the experience, it's the experience that you have with them that matters. And it's funny, because with Amelia, because she's my 3rd daughter and my last child, I tend to give in very easily to the wants that she has. And she said to me one day, I said, you know, you don't use this anymore. You don't play with this, whatever. She goes, Mom, she said, you know, I want it because I want it, and I want to know what it's like to have it. But as soon as I have it, I don't need it anymore. I'm like, what? So that kind of took me back a little bit, and I thought, okay, you know what? From now on, we're not. Well, I don't buy as much for her because she's 16. She buys her own stuff, but I was just shocked.
I would frame it very much on, if you're buying something, what are you going to do with it? I mean, there's some things like you buy a coffee, you're going to drink it, okay, it's good, it's gone. But I mean, if you do something like, so for me, I'd much rather buy a tool because I will use that tool for a long time, far more than I would do for anything else. So I'm going to pay good money on tools, and I'll buy cheap coffee if I have to, right? Because I'll have the experience of using a quality tool for a long period.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Cool. Christine, anything come up for you?
You're muted.
Yeah, I tried to. There you go.
Trying to figure out which one. I don't know. I mean, for my appearance, I'm fat, so I'm actually walking every day, and I've been doing logging my calories in an app for since the beginning of March. So I've lost 12 pounds at this point.
Congratulations.
So I'm going to have another 13 to go before I'm at the weight that I want to be at. And I don't look it, like you can't really tell, but I'm not happy with it. So I'm doing something about it. So even though I feel I'm fat, I have control over that.
Okay. So to me, listening to that is funny because the thought that comes to me is that I'm in the process of getting healthy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. It's being aware. It's seeing what I'm putting in my mouth. Just that whole awareness piece. So there's a lot of behaviors that come up, especially if I see, what ranks as a green, yellow, and a red. Red being it's not the healthiest choice. Sometimes I'll just go, well, screw it. But other times I'll go, you know what? Instead of a whole piece of pizza, I'm just going to have half a piece. Or I'm going to take the bulk of the bread off and eat the topping.
the best part of it, right? And it's true. And thinking that way, honestly,
all choices.
It is choices, but rather than denying ourselves something that we really want, if you have a little bit, well, then you know what. And quite often, what I find, as I'm trying to shift my whole lifestyle of eating or whatever, is I will eat some of it and then go, that it didn't really taste like I was expecting it to, so I'm not going to eat the rest of it. So then that was the other thing. So it's because I found when I did a whole lot of denying, then I wanted to eat it a whole lot more, and I ate more than I should. So that's that whole, you go down that rabbit hole, right? It's like a domino effect. Yep. Marie, do you have one you'd like to share and see if we can reframe?
Well, I can't believe this has come up. One's it's a man's world. Men always make more income. So I'm like, wow, really? That's in me.
Yeah. How do we reframe that one? Did you try to reframe that one?
Well, I don't know if it's really a gender problem. I think it's just reframing it to abundance is everywhere. Or, I mean, that's such an old thinking even. I mean, that's way back when I was in a women's university in the 90s. It's like, wow. Where did I pick that up? And,
Part of what they show in studies, though, is one, that it's true, but it's also women don't ask for raises nearly as much as men. So if you're not asking for more raises, well, you're not going to get paid more.
Yeah.
So you need to ask for more money.
And again, asking is not the easiest thing for women to do. Well, at least for me, but yeah, I mean, if people ask, and it's interesting because I keep telling Amelia, have you asked for a raise? And she said no, because she's working at Tim Hortons and she's afraid to ask. And I said, but you like it there and they value you and they call you in all the time and you never say no. It's worth something. You should at least ask. All they can do is say no, you know, and so then you'll have your answer, but they might say yes because you did ask. So
Yeah.
it's interesting that you say that, Alita.
Yeah, it's like in French, you know, osez. Just do it. What's the worst that can happen? Nobody's going to take you in front of a firing squad, really. But yeah, all they can say is no, but just ask.
Yeah.
I've
But-
had
but-
others give stuff away that they had, like, it's like, well, I had to buy a 5-pack of Microsoft Office. I'll give you a license for the next 3 years. Right? I have one that I'm not using.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it's funny, and I've when I was younger and I started in the accounting world, it was, you know, the guy, you know, men dominated all that, and we didn't get raises and stuff, and there were all kinds of reasons why, and that's why I said to hell with you, I'm out of here. But it was funny, when I gained partners through life, I always made more money than they did. So it was like, okay, well, you know what, men don't always make more money. So that kind of poo-pooed that, and that was based on my experience. So that was a rather interesting shift in my mindset, that, you know what, I can make more money than guys. So that was not because somebody told me, that was because I experienced it. So it's funny how we can change our mindsets, you know, just based on stuff that we're doing.
Okay, Sandy wanted to say something. Sandy?
Well, it's the same thing as this COVID-19 benefit program that they come out. As the lady who was doing the presentation, I forget her name.
Melany.
Yeah, talking about guilt. Well, people are sometimes feeling guilty about applying for that benefit. But I felt that I paid into it, so why not go after it?
Yep.
That was my goal.
Yeah. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just making sure they can hear you. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's being conscious. Sorry, what'd you say?
What were you saying, Sandy?
Sometimes we don't feel we deserve it.
Deserving it.
Mm-hmm. That's a big one to be working on.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
that you wanted to definitely put in your affirmations. I deserve. I am valued. I am. You know, those kinds of words.
yeah. So Alina, I like what you said. Can you put that into the chat so that we can have that?
Yeah.
That'd be great. So if anybody else has something they'd like to put in the chat that maybe we can all benefit from, because I am going to share this in our group. So what I would like you guys to do, you can do it for a week, you can do it for 2 weeks. I'd like you to keep this piece of paper and jot down the things that come up that and it's funny because every once in a while I go, oh, where'd that come from? So what I'd like to do is write those down, see if you can come up with the flip side, a more positive way of coming, and we're going to do some more interaction within the group. So if you want to share in that, that's great. But you're going to need that homework for May's lesson. And remember, so it's like, what?
Pardon me, Sandy? What's that?
So what is the homework?
So the homework is to keep your paper, or this list, if you will, of the left side of the negative mindset around money and wealth and success, and then flip it. Try and have a running list of recognizing when you hear yourself talking about money in a negative way, reframing it and keeping this running list, because you're going to need it for the May stepping stones.
Okay, that's what I needed to know. Thanks.
Yeah, and so I think what's really good is, you know, when we check in with our accountability partners, we can see how that's going. And Sandy, if you'd like, your accountability partner can share that in the group too. It's a private group, it's a closed group, so we can have that inside. And I really think it's a great exercise, and to help others see, you know, the thoughts that they're thinking and how that can be flipped is a really great exercise.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a
good idea.
Yeah. So I just we found this video that I'd like to play for you, and it's rather interesting on the to do with Billy. So if you want to I'm going to make sure that this is.
Yeah, before you do that, I just wanted to sorry, before you do that, I just wanted to mention that we're going to be doing a Money Matters workshop April 26th,
26th. Yeah.
1 to 4, and it's $57. And it also includes a follow-up class on May 17th from 1 to 2:30, because we want to make sure that the lesson that you learn, you actually apply. Because what we've found in the past is often people will come to a workshop and take the lesson, but then don't take action. And we really want to make sure that you take action. So we want to support you in that. And that's why we've got the follow-up. Okay, you can go ahead and play the video.
Okay. Yeah. And the cool thing is, in between the two workshops, if you want a little bit of hand holding, we're available for that too through the group. Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's that. Okay, so what's the point on that video is, when you take that, everything is bite-sized, doing things in bite-sized pieces, and whoops, something happened. What happened?
Sorry, Sandy, that was a video called 212 degrees.
Yeah, and so with the 212 degrees, it's what it's talking about is 1 degree of how it's making a difference. And so all you have to do is just make one little shift and it's funny when people talk about making a conscious effort. If you set the intention for the day to do one little thing different every day, it's almost like the book Atomic Habits. If you start practicing one thing for a while and then add something else on top of that, you start noticing there's a big difference. And so we're going to be doing our 1 degree.
What's the point of the video?
Yeah. Okay, and something happened to my PowerPoint there. It shut down. Not quite sure what happened there.
Okay.
But yeah,
so we wanted to mention the workshop. And then I also wanted to point out that on May 21st, our focus is physical, and the topic is self-awareness. And Beth Sturdivant is going to be our guest speaker. She actually owns a fitness studio called Warrior of the Light. She's also a shaman, and she is formerly cellist. She played the cello in New York. And so she's a professional musician, that she walked away from that career to be able to really work on what she's passionate about, which is energy healing. And she does Reiki, and she's now opened this fitness center called Warriors of the Light, which is super cool. It's got swords and shields and everything. And yeah, it's a whole workout with swords and shields. So she will be our guest speaker May 21st. So we're looking forward to having you. And I will be teaching the Stepping Stones lesson on letting go. That's going to be a good one.
That's a big one.
Yep.
So when is the Money Matters workshop again?
The Money Matters workshop for Sandy, she's asking, is April 26th. It's from 1 to 4. It's $57, and it includes a follow-up workshop on May 17th from 1 to 2:30.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so our wrap-up lesson, our challenge for you is to share in the Facebook Stepping Stones community about exactly what Liz was saying, and think about who can help you move your comfort zone as well. And then we were going to finish up with some movement, but I don't have my office set up for that just yet. So we're going to do that next time. I'll make sure my office is. So one of the things that, you know, since my daughter moved in, my whole house got rearranged. And of course, I can't work in the kitchen where I normally do. So I had to reorganize my office so that I can work out of here and close the door so I don't have any interruptions. So I've got it half done. And so I'm working from my office, my desk, but I have to work on the rest of the place. And so I wanted to remind you that it's very important to move, especially being in isolation. And I am doing my NIA classes online through Zoom for free. If anybody's interested, Homebound NIA with Penny Lee, go there, ask to join, and then I will set you up with the link for the Zoom classes. But regardless of whether you do exercise like that, it's really important to bounce and shake. Bounce and shake. Just standing in place and shaking, standing and shaking your body and shaking your hands and shaking and shaking and shaking 5 minutes, for 5 minutes, 3 times a day. Because what this does is it shakes up your cells and moves your lymphatic system, which helps to increase your immune system. And this is something that you can do every day to help yourself improve the strength of your immune system. So that's my shake up for you tonight to wrap up. And so Liz is going to, of course, send out the homework by email once the registration for the May Stepping Stones is completed. And of course, we always send out our after class newsletter or email. And what else is there, Liz?
So you can expect the after class email to arrive by tomorrow morning once the video downloads and everything else. I can have the links. So right. I'll have that. You should have that in your inbox on Monday.
And on Friday. Partners will be in there too.
Yeah. And so I'll be in that after class email. What I will do is I will provide you with the dates that you can expect the next newsletters, follow-up newsletters to come out. We're trying to get things on a schedule so you know when to find them, so that you're not. I've if you guys are anything like me, I've been bombarded in my email, and it's been a challenge to find the good, valuable stuff. So I'll make sure you guys have the dates so you can know when to expect it in your inbox, so you can look for it, and you can always know that the email will come from the Stepping Stones team. So.
You'll call me?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And so, yeah, so we appreciate everybody being here, being patient with our processes. If you guys have any feedback or, helpful hints, this is really new for us, the whole online trying to get everything connected. I'm getting baby steps, and things are starting to work a little bit better, but I'm open to suggestions, people. Yeah. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us this evening. And please be sure to comment in the Stepping Stones private community that we have set up. We want to use that as a platform to give you the opportunity to ask questions, provide feedback. We're here to help, and that's what it's for. So communication is really important.
And I upload the documents in there as well. So, and as these videos populate, I'm actually going to start loading them into YouTube and putting the links in the group. So we're trying to use that more so that the people that can't make it this evening and that had intended can actually go into the group. And it's great for us all to reconnect. And I don't know about you guys, but during this time I can use a little bit extra support. So yeah, so thanks so much, and have a great evening.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Sounds good.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye,
Bye.
Sandy.
Save your files, your chat.
Oh yeah, save the chat, people.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Save the chat. Save
Save
the
the
chat.
chat.
Hang on. Save
I'll
chat.
I'll put a copy of that in the all of that stuff will be in the group if you happen to forget it or lose it or whatever.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Bye. Hang on a second, Sandy.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks. Big hugs.
Yeah.